Imagine this. You are standing in the middle of a heated argument. Your heart is pounding. Every word feels like a weapon. Every sentence a battle. You carefully craft your next response, determined to prove that you're right. But the other person is doing the exact same thing. Neither of you is listening, only waiting for the next chance to strike. And then Nietzsche steps in. He doesn't choose a side. He doesn't tell you what to say. Instead, he whispers something unsettling in your ear. You've already lost. What does that mean? You're standing your ground. How could that be defeat? Because, according to Nietzsche, the moment you enter that kind of fight, you've surrendered your power. Real strength, he argued, doesn't come from proving a point. It comes from mastering the urge to react. So what is this hidden power? Why does silence sometimes speak louder than words? Let's dive into Nietzsche's philosophy and uncover the silent trick that gives you real power. Most people believe power comes from winning arguments, proving others wrong, and dominating conversations. But Nietzsche had a different view. He believed that true power isn't found in speaking, it's in control. Why do people argue? If you've ever been in a heated argument, you know how fast things escalate. But have you ever stopped to ask, why do people argue? Nietzsche believed most arguments aren't about truth. They're about ego. People protect their identity. Admitting they're wrong feels like losing part of themselves. Control arguments are battles for dominance. Who gets the last word? Who sets the tone? Validation. Many don't argue to be right. They argue to be seen as strong or smart. To Nietzsche, emotional reactions in arguments are signs of weakness. The moment you let someone provoke you, you've already lost. Nietzsche's will to power and the Übermensch. Nietzsche's concept of will to power is often misunderstood. It's not about brute strength. It's about mastering yourself and reality. Sometimes the most powerful move is not to react at all. This is where the Übermensch, the superior individual, comes in. He doesn't argue for dominance. He chooses his battles wisely. He controls the dynamic by knowing when to engage and when to remain silent. Example: two people in a meeting. One is loud, aggressive, desperate to prove their point. The other is calm, collected, listening more than speaking. Then, when they finally speak, it's sharp, precise, and shifts the room. Who holds the power? Nietzsche would say, the one who stays in control. Why strategic silence works. Silence, when used intentionally, is not weakness, it's leverage. It causes others to fill the space, reveal insecurities, and question themselves. It builds tension, and in tension there's power. The Übermensch uses silence as a strategic pause, a calculated move, not an absence of thought. It flips the conversation, reclaims control. 3 examples of silent power. Socrates. He didn't fight people. He asked questions that led them to realize their own contradictions. He made others prove themselves wrong. Steve Jobs. He didn't argue for the sake of arguing. He guided his team through conflict, letting them believe they arrived at his vision themselves. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai who used psychological dominance to win battles before they began. By unsettling his opponents with silence and unpredictability, he gained the upper hand. All 3 understood that power isn't about shouting louder. It's about making fewer words count more. The psychology behind arguments. Most arguments are psychological traps, not intellectual discussions. Cognitive biases, confirmation bias. We seek what supports our beliefs. Backfire effect. When challenged, we double down. Dunning-Kruger. The less we know, the more confident we are. Emotional triggers. We feel personally attacked when our beliefs are questioned. Political, religious, and philosophical debates get ugly fast because they attack identity. Need for validation. People argue to be seen. The Übermensch doesn't need approval. He acts while others seek applause. Modern psychology confirms its studies show the most persuasive people are those who stay calm. Calmness is perceived as confidence. Those who talk less but say more hold more authority. True influence isn't in over-explaining. It's in saying the right thing at the right time. When to stay silent and when not to, silence is powerful, but not always the answer. Nietzsche wasn't advocating passivity, he was advocating control. You should speak when the discussion sharpens your thinking. It brings truth to light. It drives growth or shifts power. But you should stay silent when your ego is the only one talking. The other person isn't open to truth. The debate is just noise. Silence makes a stronger statement. Conclusion: if someone insults you and you react, you lose. If you feel the need to defend yourself, you lose. But if you pause, observe, and only respond with purpose, you've already won. Real power isn't in dominating others. It's in mastering yourself. So, the next time you feel the heat of conflict rising, stop. Ask yourself, am I in control or am I being controlled? And then decide to speak or to stay silent and own the room.